Hey guys, we're back to I forgot what this game was called. The Distrust. We're going into the Southern Coffee place so we can nose down ourselves, chill out, and drink a nice cup of paint, as she said. The Southern Coffee was an automate diner. Ito Burgess, the lone waitress, was friendly to help with any inquiry. Of course, if you winked at her right, she would show you the way to the downstairs toilet, where Frankie played bathroom attendant. What? Southern Coffee had this distinct feeling of home. The familiar smell of mold in that old basement was enough to put a grin on my face. Ugh, the smell of mold. Frankie tended bar at the Southern Cafe. Southern Coffee. Though it wasn't his place, I'd never caught a whiff of the real owners. They trusted Frankie to do what he did best. Oh, what's this? I grabbed the wine bottle on the bar and examined its label. It featured a picture of grapes and the words Sacramental use only. Frankie looked at me with a spark in his eye. Go ahead, he said. Give it a swig. Sacramental. That's a place, right? I'm scared. Nah, I'm not gonna drink it. I shook my head. Too much. He scuffed and grabbed the bottle from me, turning it through his hands. I suppose you only like the bootleg paint. Well, I'll have you know the Ribbles charge more than a nickel for this beauty. Only this type of Napa wine is made from that Zinaba grape. It has a unique aroma. I've been trying to learn more about wine. Seemed everyone knew their stuff but me. I noted that Frankie had said about the origin of the grape as he set the bottle back on the bar. You don't even drink, or since when do you know grapes? What? Frankie doesn't even drink? He seems like a happy guy. Since when do you know grapes? I chilled. Frankie let out a laugh. Some of these grapes are older than you. And I've known about them since I was a small tot. That's why I'm so good at my job, you know? Frankie sighed. Too bad more folks can't taste them. That woman league is a devil. Let's see, the Women's Christian Temperance? Union was now under feminist Frances Willard, a positive force for the suffrage of women, but her strife support of prohibition, along with the Union's massive political clout, irked the very wet San Franciscan public, and she practically wasn't popular with the bartenders. Dude, those are like a lot of words. Take a seat, he said. I'll make you something else. I don't even know what I'm pressing. He'd been a decent pitcher for the Seals a few decades earlier. Sometimes he'd speak wistfully of those days. but his arms were much more used to slinging bottles now. I sat at the bar. "You got the spokes, PC?" he asked. "Your worn pitcher's mitt?" I suppose my exhaustion showed. "I want $100 for nothing, and I can't let it go." I told Frankie about the case, the threatening letter sent to Green, how he assumed it was related to his bootlegging, and suspicion of the red stone. The story took longer than I wanted, Frankie showing genuine interest and asking many questions. When I finished, he threw me a whiskey sour. He'd been stirring. It took a large gulp, and I gave a sigh of thanks. "Well, Green's case is better than most of what you've given," he said with some enthusiasm. "At least it's not more than that adultery bunk." "Sure," I replied. "I started with a goal in mind. What's the point in helping a man like Green?" Frankie clicked his tongue on his teeth. I don't know how to do that. "Lawyer or priest? Why does it matter? Let me ask you, are the clients you have now the types you want to help?" Refuse to admit. I refused to admit they weren't. I liked my current clients just fine. You're always riled up when backed into a corner, but you can't fool me, as long as you're all right fooling yourself. I sighed and stared down at my drink. Oh, well, that sucks. But my daze was interrupted by the basement door opening then slamming shut. A small, bustling woman came marching towards me. She looked younger than. She was wearing a... Let's see. What was she wearing? She was wearing a light blue hat with a gray ribbon tilted back on her head, a scarf similar blue draped around her neck, but I was startled by what she wore under it, a gray trench coat that looked too large for her frame. It was exactly like the one that belonged to Lewis. Crap. "Luna, what are you doing?" She hurled insults at me a while. All I could do was sit and take it, until she ran out of gas and started breathing heavily. I set my drink on the bar and looked her in the eyes. Let's see. Well, shoot, say hello since you want to curse me out. I think that's what she was doing. Yeah, she did. I inserted hello. My name is Phyllis. How can I help you? Accompanied by a smile as genuine as I could muster. That knocked her off balance. She stumbled over her next few words, and I added, "And you are?" The flame returned into her eyes. Between clenched teeth, she hissed, "I'm the wife of that bum who sneaks into your bed." The cat. Okay, so we have the cat. Where'd you get that coat? I just gabbed. I don't know. Gabbed means you just talking. Where did she get the coat? The cat, but humor wasn't her angle. She launched another poetic seizure. "And he just left you stray this morning. she finally ended. And that was when I gathered she was Green's wife. Well, look, she looks pretty blue right now. Miss Green, I'm a private eye, not a homewrecker, and I don't think your husband is in line of business but want to bet a dick anyway. Her look was pure and incredulity. A woman in the line of work, she questioned. I don't believe it. Prove it. Prove it. Screw you. Let's see. Wait, how am I going to prove that I'm a detective? I didn't find any badges. I just have this paper stack, ashtray, statue. Will it say something in the newspaper? Oh goodness, I don't know what to show this woman. Do I even have anything? I think the only thing I can show her is Green's letter. What? Miss Green, at home I have a stack of cases, each one from a separate crime covering many of the cities across the country. I went to great detail on a few of the logs, especially some of the more famous cappers. I studied them because that's my job. It still took some coasting from her to believe me, but eventually she came around. She seemed grateful I'd explained it to her. Apparently she had seen her husband leave my apartment, and distraught, she followed me all the way to Frankie's basement and decided to confront me. Well, at least she didn't come out with a gun. I suppose I lost my head after what I thought I seen. She begun to cry. Frankie, ever cavaliers to a dimpled girl, came around the bar and held her up. Now that's all right, Miss Green. Why don't you hail your cab and send you back home? She agreed, and they walked together to the stairs. When Frankie returned, I told him, you turned night real quick. He snorted a smile. Aw, hell, we can't have that siren in here with a tornado yelling like that. Every street beggar would have come here to rescue her. Miss Green is a torch singer. While I learned she was Missum's Corner Green just now when she came in here. I'd only seen her as little Fanny singing lead for the jazz band at Tin Spoon. The Tin Spoon, I said. Tiny Pearl's joint? Well, Paul's joint? That's where Green is selling his liquor. Say, you think that's where she met her husband? I laughed. You're a real slish, Frankie. He made a sarcastic bow. I shook my head. You're telling me you escorted our little torture out just to avoid a bit of hot water? Frankie flushed and said, what are you talking about? I was never good with emotions, but it was plain that Frankie had instantly fallen for the girl. Well, so what if I had more to squeeze out of her? I asked. What more could you possibly want from little Franny? She can't have anything to do with Green's mess. Let's see. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, but either way, it won't matter. Because if it has something to do with the husband, they're going to go after the wife anyway. That's how old days logic is. Let's see. How do I contradict it? I can't contradict it. I'm just looking through stuff. Let's see. Miss Green followed her husband to my place. Why would she do that? Frankie rolled his eyes. PC, if you were Green's wife, would you trust him with anything? I'm sure he's always up to something. I shrugged and stood up from the bar stool. What had just happened was quite the ruckus. It seemed like my cues to move on. Frankie kept a collection of pre-prohibition bottles on the shelf behind the counter. Their shapes and colors were far from alluring than the jugs of Martin Swell. This label had a poem on it. Fill full your cups, feel no distress. At all our great thoughts shrinking less, we'll do a good deed nonetheless. No idea what that means. Frankie had a bond with old Shaker at the end of the bar. It was surprised he hadn't named it. He could sling a mean drink, though he'd only use a good liquor if he liked you. Frankie liked me. Let's see. What are these? Anything else? What was this still? Let's see. Once I asked Frankie to lend me some cash from that register, he growled so fierce that I decided not to ask again. I didn't think his employers would notice before I got it back, but maybe he just wanted to save me from myself. I was heading up the stairs, so what are you gonna do? I'd been thinking about little Franny, my parents. I've been thinking about my parents and the guilt stung me. My separation from them had been my choice. I'd hated Chicago and abandoned their lives. I thought if I could help them financially, I might adapt those sins. I steeled myself. I guess I'll take Connor Green's bait, I replied. I've got nothing else better to do, and he might need the help. Something still stinks, though. Well, what's your plan? The way I see it, I have 3 goals right now. Find the guy who wrote the letter. But you want more, asked Frankie. I nodded. Green's a shady character. I have to learn about him. Who is this guy? Digging his past. I can't go back and fight back to him blind. And then there's something about his bootlegging. How Green got a connection like that? What's his source exactly? Squeezing that lemon might give me my justice. Well, give me my juice. That sounds alright, he replied. So where is it you're off to? I got 3 leads. That bootlegger, who Green claims to have written him the letter, The Tin Spoon Lodge, learn more about Green's rum running schemes, and Miss Green, who can give me more dirt on her husband. He nodded in approval. Well, if you ever stuck, come back and see me. You can never solve anything without talking it over. I smiled and went upstairs. I was debating on where to go next. Let's see. We're gonna go to the barbershop. Green has suspected Redstone Stable sending him that letter. Apparently Stable owned the barbershop, financial district. I figured that would be no harm in asking Stable to go directly. Actually, we're not. We're gonna go to the Tin Spoon first. I answered the taxicab by an old man with a mustache. He turned to me with the eyes that had a playful glint. Sorry, he said with a rough voice. This is the end of the demo. I can't take you any farther. I didn't know exactly what he meant, but something in that gaze made me understand. What? No, wait! Damn you! Oh, this was a demo game. If you'd like to purchase the full version, that'd be swell, he continued. Once you do that, you can even keep going right from where you left off. But right now, please exit the main menu. I nodded and went my way. Well, that was cool. I forgot that this was a demo. The Case of Distrust. Can't trust a taxi driver, damn it. Well, I like this game. I'll see how much it costs and see if I'll continue doing it. I love mystery games, so this will be pretty good. So, will you purchase this game? Do you like this game so far? Leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, game.